Procrastination, whether we do it a little or we do it a lot, it's one of those things that can impact when our head hits the pillow at night, because the thing we didn't do is spinning around in our head. And perhaps we're even making promises to ourselves that tomorrow we'll get to it, fingers crossed, and then we don't. And emotionally, what we're doing is we're chipping away at our own well-being. We're not protecting our own performance. And part of that is because of our own level of personal accountability, holding ourselves accountable. Now, the underpinning emotional intelligence skills that relate to procrastination are emotional self-awareness and impulse control, two skills that are around our self-mastery. We have to be aware of the emotions that become present when we don't do something, when we procrastinate. The emotions will lead us to then capture the thinking. What do I think about in that moment as well? What do I tell myself? So here's a classic example. I'm in my day, and what I notice is a task that I just keep putting off. And so I'm identifying I'm in procrastination. If I pause and check in with myself and go, is the emotion procrastination, or what's the emotion that exists in there? And being able to understand the nuances, have a robust vocabulary around our emotion. Actually, this thing I have to do is boring. So I feel bored even just thinking about it. Now, what's my thought associated with it? I don't like this. This isn't fun. It's boring. And so what do? I procrastinate. I don't do it. I find other things that I love to do instead. And then my head hits that pillow tonight and I think about that moment and I beat myself up about it. And then I make these promises that I don't keep. And the cycle keeps going. How do we break that cycle? A few strategies come to mind, but first we need awareness. An awareness around emotional self-awareness, like what emotions and what thinking, and then we break the pattern. But here, this is what happened in a coaching session today. But here's something to actually take pause and recognize about yourself. This is a graph around when energetically you are best equipped for those things that you procrastinate around. So this is an example of like time of day, 6 a.m. start or wake up. And as the day progresses, 6 p.m. And this is energy level. So when you do this exercise, what I want you to do is just think about your energy level from wake up and just put dots at each hour as to what happens to your energy. So this is the other person's energy line. This is my energy line. We did both of ours to be able to show like we approximately get up at the same time, but how our energy shifts throughout the day is quite different. So once we have this chart in place, then we start to recognize when is my peak opportunity to do things that I don't really want to do, because the peak time to do those things is when I am more resilient. So when my energy is naturally better, I am more resilient to difficult things. That's when we want to put those things we're procrastinating on. Another strategy is called eat the frog. Eat the frog is about do the hard things first. Why? Because when we do them and get them done, the gnawing stops. If we wait on those things, the longer the day goes on, the more gnawing. In the back of our mind, this thing exists. And that is chipping away at our performance in everything that we're doing right now, because it still exists. This is key and critical to elevating our own performance within the emotional intelligence skills of first be aware of what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking that contributes to procrastination. Then get these strategies in place straight away and flex your emotional self-awareness and impulse control so that rather than doing the default reaction or action of procrastination, you do the other.